Welcome to the U.S. Counselor and Advisor webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I have the pleasure of introducing Emily Mancuso, the Manager of International Recruitment for Humber College. Emily is going to share some information with you about the opportunities that U.S. students have when considering studying in Canada. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, and thank you for taking the time to log on today to listen to further information about Humber and the study opportunities that are available to U.S. students in Canada. I hope that when you step away from this presentation later, that you'll feel like you have a greater understanding of Humber College, the range of programs that we have on offer, and the opportunities that are available to your students to study at Humber and in Canada specifically. I'm going to start off with a little bit of information about Humber College itself. You may have done a little bit of preliminary research in advance of joining this webinar today. Humber is one of the largest colleges in Canada. We're located in Toronto, Ontario. We are a public institution and we were founded in the late 1960s. So although we're relatively young, we have accomplished quite a bit in our short period of time, and we continue to move forward as the employment sector changes, as the demands of higher education change. We're also a very international institution, so we're proud to be home to more than 100 different students from a number of 100 different countries internationally. So your American students will feel at home here. We are an accredited institution. We are accredited by the Ontario Ministry of Training, Colleges and Universities. That means that your students would be pursuing accredited qualifications. And we're very fortunate to be very popular and in demand. We receive more applications than any other Ontario college, and we're able to extend a significant number of offers to students wishing to pursue further studies at Humber. Some of the reasons why you may wish to consider sending your students to Humber, or why you may wish to encourage your students to research Humber and consider it as an option. Humber offers career-focused learning in state-of-the-art labs and classrooms, and most importantly, our learning simulates real-life working environments. So your students will be studying across courses that will have a theory and an academic focus, and they will be well prepared from an academic perspective, but what they will also gain are insights into the real-world necessities of how to be successful within their career through simulated real-work environments. And the majority of our courses do offer professional work placements as well, so they would receive applied learning experience both in the classroom as well as through work placement. We offer over 150 different programs at varying levels of qualification. So we offer degree programs, meaning we have studies at the college university level of bachelor's degrees. We offer diplomas and advanced diplomas as well, which are 3-year professional qualifications, certificate courses. So there are different qualifications depending on which career your student is aspiring to continue on into as a professional. Canada and education tend to be synonymous with quality. So Canadian qualifications, Canadian education is respected globally, and it's widely accepted by top employers as well as a basis for admission for students who may wish to pursue further studies. So for your students that are passionate and looking to pursue studies at the bachelor's level, who may wish to continue on into studies at the master's and then further PhD studies, they can start their education at Humber, complete their bachelor's, and continue on into top educational institutions globally and in the United States, as well as pursue work opportunities globally and in the United States. We have a wide range of partnerships, both nationally and internationally, with a wide range of institutions. We also are continuing to offer a growing number of study abroad options. We are quite passionate about furthering our global reach and developing further relationships internationally. Currently, at this moment, as we're webcasting, we have students and faculty located in Mexico, in Finland, Uganda, Taiwan, India. So not only are we focused on global partnerships, but we also teach from a very global perspective, and our students will have opportunities to gain global perspective in their studies. The study at Humber will leave the institution with the necessary tools to be able to hit the ground running and enter the workforce in their chosen field of study and their aspirational area of their professional career. We offer over 150 different program options. We have a wide range of different types of options within the various types of qualifications that we do offer. And again, I'll go into a little bit more depth around the range of options that we have across our portfolio. We do offer degree programs, so what that means is we have a number of bachelor degrees. So although we're a college, we do offer studies at the university level, meaning that we do grant bachelor degrees. We offer a wide range of diplomas, including both advanced diplomas as well as certificates and postgraduate opportunities. And I will go into a little bit more detail as we go further through the presentation. Canada and education in Canada are synonymous with quality. Canadian qualifications are respected. Globally, they're accepted by employers as well as students who may aspire to eventually work back in the United States or pursue further qualifications such as a master's or further studies. A Canadian education, a Canadian degree, a Canadian diploma, a certificate, a postgraduate qualification will be well respected and treated as a significant basis for admission for further studies. At Humber, we're very proud of a wide range of partnerships that we've developed. We have partnerships both nationally as well as internationally. We're proud of the ever-changing roster of destinations and partnerships that we do have at the institution. We currently, at this very moment as I'm webcasting, have students and faculty who are located in Mexico, Finland, Uganda, Taiwan, India, and pursuing a wide range of studies that may be part of a study abroad program or cross-pollination partnerships where we're working with other institutions that are internationally located that might be working with our faculty in the development of training. So we're very proud of our ever-growing range of partnerships, again, both nationally and internationally, as well as the ever-growing range of options for study abroad. So although your students will be considering studying in Canada, which to them may be a significant international experience within itself, they can bear in mind that when they are sitting at Humber, should they have an appetite for further learning internationally, they will have many opportunities available to them, ranging from short courses to entire semesters abroad to a year abroad. Moving on to our location. So prior to joining this webcast, you may have researched that we're located in Toronto. Toronto is certainly a large selling feature as to why some American students may choose to come and study at Humber itself. Humber is nestled close to the U.S. border, so we're about an hour, maybe about an hour and a couple of minutes away from the American border. We have quite a few students that come from the surrounding New York State region, but we're also very proud of the fact that we have a wide range of American students that will travel to Toronto. Toronto is actually the fourth largest city in North America, so sometimes people are not necessarily aware of the scope of what Toronto has to offer as a city. Following large North American cities like Mexico City, Los Angeles, New York, there is Toronto in terms of the scale, and Toronto seems to have endless opportunities that are afforded to its inhabitants and its students that are studying here. So Toronto offers an excellent range of employment opportunities, both while students are pursuing their studies as well as following their international studies at Humber. Graduates themselves also can take advantage of a high standard of living, top quality health care, as well as for those sports enthusiasts who might be passionate about NBA basketball or that are adamant fans of Major League Baseball. They'll also be able to get their fix while they're in Toronto by following our Major League Baseball team, the Toronto Blue Jays, or attending a Toronto Raptors basketball game and a wide range of other sports. One thing sometimes that comes up as a concern from our American population is they're concerned about the climate in Toronto. What we like to encourage our students is to think about the fact that we have 4 full seasons. So although they will certainly experience our cold winter, they will certainly have the opportunity to also experience an autumn, a spring, as well as some summer. When they first come to join us in late September, we can often have a late summer. And I also like to encourage people to think of our climate as being very similar to large American cities like Chicago. So it's not unlike Chicago in terms of the full 4 seasons. Further, in terms of items that students may wish to consider is the work situation in Toronto. Again, I mentioned that there are excellent employment opportunities for international students in Toronto, but that also goes beyond. When they finish their course of studies, they could also potentially pursue post-graduation work permits and consider staying in Canada to gain some professional work experience. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. So moving on, looking at our international American community that we have at Humber, we're very proud of the fact that we have more than 100 nationalities represented on the Humber campus. So as an American student, international students or American students would certainly have the opportunity to interact with many Canadians. They would also meet many international students coming from over 100 different countries worldwide, but they would also likely interact with some of the current students that we have from across the United States. We're proud that we have 25 plus states represented across our student population from the United States, and that number continues to grow. And we have students from far-reaching states and destinations such as Hawaii and California and Florida, and including the surrounding local states as well, such as New York State. We have a wide range of programs, which I mentioned previously, but notably about those programs, many of our programs qualify for U.S. government-approved education loan FAFSA funds. So this is a very important point for your students that may be considering studying in Canada. There are possibilities and there are programs that are approved where the students can bring their FAFSA funds to Canada. So certainly that would have a significant impact on the decision-making process for students who may be mindful of the costs associated with studying abroad. So it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to consider Canada, but bearing in mind that you would have the same loans access as you would, say, for example, if you were studying in your home state. As previously mentioned, and I'll reiterate this point because this is really an important point that our students take into consideration when they're coming to Humber, is that many U.S. students aspire to further their experience in Canada after graduation by pursuing post-graduation work opportunities, and most of our programs will qualify students to be able to pursue opportunities for up to 3 years worth of work opportunities following their studies at Humber. So on that note, let me tell you a little bit more about our campuses, our range of programs, and most importantly, the admissions criteria and support services as well that are available to students should they wish to consider studying at Humber. We are very proud of our campuses. We like to think that we offer inspiring learning environments, and I think a lot of our students would say that certainly that is the case. So what you're seeing here is an image of our Lakeshore Campus, which is one of 2 of the main campuses where most international students from the United States would typically study. I'm going to continue on into the range of program types. I briefly touched upon this point, but let me give you a little bit more information in this area so that you can perhaps best understand the range of courses that we do have on offer, as well as to help direct your students into potentially which opportunities might be best for what they're aspiring to do professionally. So we do offer a wide range of courses, including 1-year certificate programs, 2-year diploma programs, 3-year advanced diplomas, 4-year bachelor's degrees, as well as for students that have completed studies at the bachelor's level. We have postgraduate certificates in the range of 1 and 2 years in length. So if you are a high school counselor and advisor, you're most likely looking at the first 4 options on this slide in terms of advising your students. Postgraduate qualifications would happen after a student has completed their undergraduate studies, but to let them know that there are further study opportunities available to them here at Humber. Starting off with the range of certificates, diplomas, advanced diplomas, and bachelors. It's a very exciting time within the college system here in Ontario. We are forever flexing to the needs and the demands of the economy and the work opportunities that are available to students. So what I can tell you is that depending on what the student is aspiring to do professionally, that would likely determine which qualification they would pursue. So for example, students who may wish to pursue an area of study such as business at the diploma or advanced diploma level, following the completion of one of those qualifications would have job opportunities available to them that would open their possibilities, and their qualifications would allow them to apply into jobs that are available in their field of study. It just depends on ultimately professionally what the student is looking to to accomplish when they do enter the workforce. Some students who longer term may aspire for different types of roles within their organizations may aspire to do a full bachelor's degree. And as I mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation, the bachelor's degrees are pitched at the university level of studies. So the bachelor's degrees would allow them to then continue into further studies such as master's, continuing after master's to pursue PhDs. We do have a range of professionally driven programs where the industry standard may be that the qualification to work within that industry is to complete a diploma or an advanced diploma. So it may not be necessary to complete a bachelor's degree. And what you'll find is in the range of the courses that Humber does have to offer, they are typically categorized and offered within the qualification that is required for them to join the workforce. We realize this is always a little bit of a complicated topic in terms of trying to comprehend where a diploma or an advanced diploma may be required, but hopefully by perusing the range of courses that we do have on offer, that might be able to give you a bit more clarity. But the most important message being that any one of these qualifications will allow the student to gain applied learning experience. Most of our programs offer professional work experience as part of the course of studies, and when they graduate from that program, they will be in a position to then join their workforce within their chosen area of studies. We'll talk a little bit more about the different courses that we have on offer that will hopefully clarify the program types throughout this presentation. Moving on, I did mention briefly that we do have applied learning opportunities. Humber offers real-life experience through simulated learning labs as well as practical work placements. The vast majority of our programs at Humber do have practical work placements or some form of applied learning in the course. So what that means is that academically the students will be well prepared and will have their higher education, post-secondary level of learning, potentially up at the degree level or the certificate level, diploma level. So they'll be very well prepared academically in terms of the theory and in terms of the knowledge that's necessary for them to be successful within their chosen careers. But what they will also have is practical work experience that is relevant to what's happening within their chosen industry at this given time. For example, there are a number of real-life scenarios that are covered across a range of the courses. So for example, within a course like the School of Social Services, or Social and Community Services rather, Protection, Security, and Investigation, there's a crime scene investigation module. And for example, there's a state-of-the-art crime scene studio and forensics lab. What that means is it features a simulation lab for processing forensics, as well as a staged crime scene setup. So students on that course would engage in taking photos, collecting evidence, and protecting evidence, sketching and measuring that crime scene. So that type of facility is on our campus, and students are enacting real-life scenarios that would be relevant for their field of studies. Additionally, across other courses of studies within areas like our media studies, students would have opportunities to be able to access facilities that are to industry standard and that are mimicking and, again, to the standard of what they would expect in their place of work when they were to enter the workforce. Moving on into the areas of studies that we do have on offer here at Humber, I'll give you an overview of the 8 academic schools that all of our programs would fall within. We have our School of Applied Technology, and within Applied Technology you'll find a range of courses in areas like architectural technology, engineering technology, engineering technician training courses, a wide range of courses on the applied technology side. We have a business school which has a wide range of business offerings covering many of the core areas across most business functions, ranging from accountancy to management to marketing to also specialized courses in areas like esthetician and spa management, cosmetic management. So there's a full range of courses available within the business school. We have our health sciences school. Within the health sciences school, you'll find various courses that tend to appeal to international students, in particular practical nursing as well as a Bachelor of Nursing that's offered. We have specialized courses in areas like funeral pre-planner, occupational therapist assistant, and physiotherapist assistant training courses. Moving on to the creative and performing arts, an area, a very exciting area at the institution that offers a range of courses in areas like music, a bachelor's of music, in terms of theater performance and theater production. Students would have the opportunity to train for careers within those areas as well. Transitioning into the next 4 schools of the 8 schools are hospitality, recreation, and tourism, which is a fantastic facility and fantastic school for students who are potentially passionate about hospitality and tourism, as the name denotes, but with specialties in areas like culinary management, culinary skills training courses, bachelor's courses, tourism and hospitality management, as well as food and nutrition management. Moving on to liberal arts and science, which offers a wide range of courses that can function as a foundation for students that may be looking to gain their bearings within a college setting, and then continuing on into further studies. So for example, within liberal arts and sciences, students could pursue a health and science profile course and then transition into, say, the Bachelor of Nursing after the completion of that, as well as they can gain general qualifications across a wide range of arts and science courses. Media Studies and Information Technology School, there are, again, a wide range of courses across broadcasting, so broadcasting for television and radio, areas like graphic design, 3D animation, art and design, so quite a range of topics across media, art, as well as areas like advertising and marketing communications. And lastly, of our 8 schools, but by no means least, the School of Social and Community Services, which also offers a wide range of courses in areas like a child and youth worker training course, police foundations, early childhood education. So as you can see from the 8 schools, there are quite a range of courses available to students, again, over 150 different options that are all predominantly career focused. So depending on what your student is trying to achieve professionally, we will be offering relevant training to allow them to then enter that particular job force for that chosen career path. We have at Humber faculty who care, and we're very passionate about the faculty that we have on staff. Many of our faculty have either worked within industry, are working within industry, or have strong connections to industry. So this is very important, again, when you're studying in an applied learning situation or setting where you want to know what you're learning is going to be relevant to the job that you're going to be transitioning into. Our faculty are accessible. They have office hours where students can get to know them. Our average class sizes at Humber are also quite small. So I believe the average class size is about 30 students to every professor. Now, obviously, that will change depending on the program and depending on the individual course, but most program students will have a number of opportunities to be able to be in smaller class settings where they will have access to their faculty and where they will get to know them quite well as they'll be able to leverage and take advantage of their faculty's network within industry as well. I touched upon a little bit of the range of sort of applied learning experiences that we have within our courses. We also have a wide range of projects that are relevant for the real world, and a number of courses where students also are working on projects for real world clients. So not only are they learning the theory and learning about what's relevant and happening in industry, but they're also often interacting with industry and directly working for industry partners who may be looking to our students for consultancy opportunities and so forth. Moving on, state-of-the-art studios. So I talked a little bit about the crime scene lab, for example. The expectation when you come to study at Humber is that when you are studying your particular course of study, you will be working in facilities that mimic what you can expect in the real world. And what that means for us as an institution is that many of our facilities are state-of-the-art, they're to industry standards, and sometimes even beyond, and leaders in the types of technology that our students are using. So again, I can't say it enough, you know, when a student steps out of their program and has finished their classroom learning and has finished their professional work placement, when they step into the workplace where they may be transitioning into their newly found job, they're going to be familiar with the facilities as they will have likely had the chance to work with those same facilities or even higher standard facilities when they were studying their course at Humber. So, for example, if you look at something like the esthetician and spa management course that we have at Humber, for example, we have a spa on campus that students train in. Again, it's to the same standard of a high-end spa that you would find, in downtown New York City, and students are learning and training within those facilities with the expectation of working to those state-of-the-art standards. There are a number of opportunities across many programs for students to also showcase their work, take part in professional competitions and student competitions. We're very proud of the work that our students have produced over the years, and especially on courses in areas like things like industrial design. There are regular showcases of the students' work available on campus. So transitioning on the idea of talking about campus, let's go over sort of some general information about our physical campuses. Firstly, we are very proud of our beautiful campuses, so that your students can expect to study in beautiful surroundings. Toronto itself and both of the Humber campuses, they're very safe campuses. Toronto's a very safe city to live in. So our students are very fortunate to have the option to either live on campus or live off campus if they would choose. I'll talk a little bit about the housing opportunities available, but first I'll talk about the physical locations of the campuses and the difference between the two campuses. So one of the things that I did forget to mention earlier on the slides when I was talking about the different schools is that you may have noted that beside each of the schools there are two words that are commonly on those slides, one being North and one being Lakeshore. And those would be the names of our two campuses where our students predominantly study at. So Lakeshore Campus is one of those two campuses. And what will determine the campus that you end up studying at is your program. So your program location and your program availability will determine which of the two campuses you will be studying on. The Lakeshore Campus is located about 20 minutes from downtown Toronto. It's very well connected by public transportation. And specifically, the Lakeshore Campus, it's the second largest campus to Humber. We have about 7,000 full-time students on this campus. It's home to many of our postgraduate students, as well as the majority of our bachelor students study on this campus. It offers a wide range of courses on this campus in particular. Both of our campuses are fully contained campuses, so what that means is that students can opt to live on each of those respective campuses. They can take part in a wide range of clubs and associations, extracurricular activities. They can spend their time going to and from class, consuming all of their meals on campus. They don't necessarily have to leave the campus to do very much. Now, that said, it would be a real shame if students didn't take advantage of the fact that they're also living in the city of Toronto. But I just wanted to give you a sense of the fact that the students will be well taken care of and that they will have access to a vibrant community on campus. And as an international student, they would also have access to a wide range of support services that would facilitate their experience on campus, as well as to allow them and help them to engage in the Humber community and to get to know the Humber culture as well. The second campus of the two main campuses that we have many of our American students studying at would be the North Campus. And the North Campus is the larger of our two campuses. Specifically, you're looking at about 15,000 students. We have 25,000 students in total between the two campuses roughly at the moment. So 15,000 of them approximately are at the North Campus. And it's home to thousands of international students every year, as well as the campus itself has free Wi-Fi, which you can actually say about both campuses, a wide range of study areas, student lounges that are accessible for our students that will be studying on that campus, and a wide range of a number of our programs. This campus in particular, again, is well situated on public transportation. It's closer to our international airport, so if students are looking to travel to the downtown area, which many students do on a daily basis, it would take them about 40 minutes or so to get to the North Campus from downtown or vice versa. So Toronto as a city is certainly accessible from both campuses. transitioning from the overview of our campus options that the students would have to look at, I'm going to talk a little bit about admissions process. So general admissions information for U.S. applicants. What we recommend for when you're considering studying at Humber, we do have a number of intakes. So typical to most colleges and universities, we have the typical September intake. We're also fortunate to be able to offer a January and May intake. The intake and the program availability is completely dependent on the programs and the calendar year on what availability may exist within a particular program. However, that said, a wide range of courses are offered in September, and all courses are offered in September typically, and a wide range are available in January. Recommended application deadlines for students that are considering applying. The traditional application deadline for September would be February the 1st. So as an American counselor and advisor, that might be nice to see that date's a little bit later than, say, the traditional November 1st deadline that many of your students might be working towards. So as an application to Canadian institutions, you could look at potentially making sure that you got your local applications done and dusted and finalized, and looking at focusing on your Canadian applications throughout the month of November and December, ensuring that you have it just before February the 1st. A January application typically will come in by no later than September the 1st, and a May typically will come in January. Some programs are highly competitive, so we do always recommend that you apply as soon as possible. So the application for September intake 2015 will likely be available in early September of 2014. Admissions is based predominantly on high school performance. This is a really important point for the American counselor, certainly in terms of the applications that you may be considering making to a wide range of colleges and universities across the United States, as well as some in Canada. They may require SATs, ACTs, a wide range of standardized tests, counselor references. Generally speaking, we don't require counselor references. We do have some references that are required for some programs, but standardized tests you don't need to worry about. So the majority of our applications are based on academic performance, and more specifically, the individual requirements of a particular program. So for example, for music, you would need to do an audition, but generally speaking, relative to the American process for applications, it's a much more streamlined process. And so for example, as well, things like interviews are generally not required for most programs. And in the instances where we do have some programs that have interviews, they would likely be able to be conducted from a distance. So they're not extensive in that they don't have so much of a bearing on your general admission, but they might have a small bearing on your admission to a particular program, such as something like music or performing arts, where they may require you to have an audition, or some of our competitive programs may have a secondary interview process. So how you would go about starting off the application process to Humber is first you would pick a program and confirm that program availability. We are very proud of a resource that we have on our website, which is a very comprehensive listing of our programs that we have on offer, and specifically it notes when the programs are available, which ones are opened, which ones are closed, which ones may be waitlisted. So we have a very transparent process. And there is a link in this presentation where you'll be able to view that list and confirm, depending on which program your student may be looking at, whether that program is available for applications for their desired start time. The next step would be that you would want to complete the 2-page Humber International application form. It's a fairly standardized application form that would ask all of the traditional questions like name, address, email being most important, so that we can communicate with you at the back of receiving that application. But importantly, you would note your program selection, and you will have the option to note more than one program option. So you would note the program that you're looking to apply to, and then specifically the term that you would like to start for. Along with that application, you're going to submit a $75 Canadian application fee that most easily can be submitted by including your credit card details on the application form and submitting that to our intelapplications@humber.ca. Now this is a space that you want to watch, because we will very shortly be rolling out an online application that will likely be available in early 2015. So we are currently working on a paper-based application, but we're looking to streamline that process and provide you with a better service. And down the road, have it online. The next step in terms of U.S. admissions requirements, this is just a summary overview of the various requirements depending on the program that the student may be looking at. So for students who may be interested in doing a diploma, say for example an advanced diploma that is likely 3 years in length, or a certificate program which usually range between 1 and 2 years in length, the students from the United States would be evaluated for admissions purposes based on their academic achievement. We're usually looking predominantly at grade 12, but we will take into consider grade 11, so grade 11 and grade 12. And we'll be looking for a minimum overall grade percent average of about 60%. And specifically, the focus will be on required program subjects. So what that means is if you have a student who is interested, for example, in one of our engineering technology courses, there will be more of an emphasis on maths and sciences for admission. Now, I know many of your schools do not work in a percent range, so a 60% would likely be in the range of, say, a C average overall, and a 70% would probably be in the range of about a B average, B minus average, depending on the institution. You can see there that we do ask for the school profile, so we will certainly take into consideration the information that you have included in your school profile when the student submits their transcripts, which they can submit to us at the same time that they submit their application with a non-official copy of the school profile and the transcript, and we can use that as a preliminary basis to be able to review the file for admission. The next category for admission, which is certainly a very important category for the students that you'll be counseling, are admissions to our bachelor's degree programs. So again, we would require the secondary school transcripts, most importantly including grade 11 and grade 12 grades. If your students are applying, and they will be because they'll be applying before that February 1st deadline, they would likely be sending their first term or interim grades. That will be sufficient for an initial basis for evaluation. So ensuring that their first term grades from grade 12 are included on that academic transcript. And should we require further grade confirmation, we would likely email you back and ask specifically for interim grades for the second semester. And overall, we're looking again for this category for bachelor's courses for a minimum of 70%, so again that B minus B average overall, and specifically with a focus on the subjects that are required for the particular program of study. Our website, in terms of admissions requirement, does do a pretty good comprehensive job of outlining generally which courses we're looking for admission in terms of the courses that we'll take into consideration. What I can say is almost every course will generally include English in a calculation, so their English requirement or English course, and then many courses will look at subjects like math and sciences, but it will vary depending on the course that they're most interested in studying. Lastly, admission to graduate certificate. Again, that will be predominantly after they've completed a bachelor's degree, and we would take into consideration their achievement within their bachelor's studies. Program tuition. So certainly a very important aspect that your students would be considering when they're thinking of coming to study in Canada would be the fees, tuition costs, would be the general cost of living, as well as information about possible scholarships and bursaries that are available to students. Canadian higher education and the opportunities in Ontario tend to be economically competitive and good options for students from a financial perspective in terms of the cost. The overall cost is very accessible. And specifically for our diplomas and certificates, tuition-wise, students are typically looking at the range of just under 15,000 Canadian dollars for 2 semesters. So that would be the average cost of 1 calendar year of studies on their given program. So depending on which program, they may be pursuing 1 year of studies, 2 year of studies, 3 year of studies. That fee would be calculated across each of those years of studies. The costs importantly include health insurance. So while students are studying at Humber, one of the mandatory fees would be for health insurance. But what that means is that should they need to see a doctor or a dentist, or should they require any medical attention, they would be covered for that within the insurance policy. So these are the fees that are quoted for our academic year for 2015-2016. Tuition fees for our degrees and graduate certificates are just a little bit higher. Again, both are under the range of 15,000 Canadian dollars. The Canadian dollar is usually, it fluctuates, it's quite close to the American. I believe the last time I checked it was about 85 cents Canadian was equivalent in terms of the exchange. So 15,000, you're probably looking at maybe in the range of say 13,000 US dollars per calendar year. So just to give you a sense of what the exchange rate may be like. We do have a range of international scholarships that are available to our international students. So again, as a reminder, your students can apply for FAFSA funding for a large number of our courses. So that's certainly one option in terms of the financial side of planning for coming to study in Canada. But Humber is also known for our generous offerings in terms of scholarships relative to other Canadian institutions and colleges. So we do have 20 scholarships valued at 1,000 Canadian dollars. We have 3 scholarships that are valued at 5,000 Canadian dollars, and this would be at an amount that would be renewable based on the students' continued academic achievements within their course of studies. As well as we offer 3 full tuition scholarships. So annually we have 3 students that will receive a full tuition scholarship in the range of between the tuition that would cover the tuition fees. International scholarships as well. U.S. students who have demonstrated academic excellence may be eligible for both entrance as well as ongoing scholarships. Application deadlines are typically at 3 months prior to the start of their program. And after a student has been admitted into a program, they will receive further information, including information about how they can apply for scholarships, as well as I mentioned that some of the scholarships are renewable, so those $5,000 scholarships are renewable, as well as the full tuition scholarships are renewable, and that would be on the condition that they maintain an in-course average of 75%. So it's a very achievable academic average, so if the student is coming in as an A+ student, they don't have to be concerned that they have to maintain that A+. Sometimes the transition to college or university can be a bit of a challenge, so they would still need to academically succeed, but there's a little bit of leeway there for them to adjust and for them to maintain their scholarship throughout their studies. Scholarships to the bachelor's programs, we have a wonderful range of scholarships that are specifically for students that are interested in studying at the bachelor's level. Now what's really nice about the scholarships for the bachelor's level is that these are automatically awarded at the time of application based on academic achievement. So if you have strong students that are on average A and B average students, it's likely that they would receive some scholarship offering if they were to be admitted into one of our bachelor programs. So they start in the range of 1,500 and they go up to the range of 4,000 Canadian dollars. So it's a significant reduction if you're looking at it from a tuition perspective, from just under $15,000 to needing to be able to pay just over $10,000 in tuition. And the amounts from 2,000 upwards are renewable again based on their maintenance of an 80% average in course. The other scholarships that I previously mentioned, those are based both on academics, but also students would need to make an application to those scholarships. They would make an application after they have been admitted to their program of choice. As I mentioned, they would get information in their offer pack about how to apply for those scholarships, but those other scholarships will take into consideration things like their community involvement, leadership skills. They will ask for supplemental application information. It's certainly worth top students and strong community leaders taking the time to apply, because we do award these scholarships quite regularly into a range of international students across a number of different international markets. Transitioning into some thoughts around residence life, we do have a range of residences as well as living options for students available both on campus as well as off campus. As I previously mentioned, Toronto is a very safe city. And what's interesting about Toronto is the culture is that many upper year students will choose to live off campus. So many of our international students, certainly in first year, want to know that they don't have to necessarily worry about the transition of getting to know the city or finding a place to live. So they may opt to live in residence for the experience of being able to build a community, getting to know the Humber community, being able to make friends, to find their place on campus. But typically in second, third, and fourth year, many students will choose to live off campus. And There very much is a culture in Toronto that many of the students will make friends and start making those plans for their upper years in their first year, perhaps when they're living in residences. We typically have two types of residences. We have the traditional dormitory style residence, which is pretty much what you would expect across most Canadian and American colleges. The long corridor with single rooms off that corridor where you will have a desk space, you will have a closet, a small single bed, you'll be within 10 minutes walking to class on that particular campus, sometimes a little bit further if you have a class on the other side of campus. But the traditional dormitory style residence is available where you would eat most of your meals on a meal plan within the various cafeterias and restaurants and eateries across campus. The second type of residence that we do offer is also a suite style residence. So what that means is that typically within the suites, the students would have a roommate. Each of those roommates would have their own room within that suite, but what they would share is a small communal living space where they would have a refrigerator, a sink, a kitchen prep area, as well as a bathroom and a shower within their own unit. So there are those two types of residences, and it depends on which campus you live on. And certainly, again, bearing in mind availability, students who do apply early and who are admitted, we do strongly recommend after they've been admitted that they make their application to the housing office to ensure that they're able to secure a space on campus. I previously mentioned about the meal plan, but also just generally across both of our campuses, we have a wide range of food options, especially for first-year students who maybe are living away from home for the first time. They can, if they wish, eat all of their meals on their meal plan and not necessarily have to cook, but they would also have facilities within their residences where they could use communal cooking spaces to prepare meals. And there are a wide range of foods that can meet a wide range of dietary needs. So if you have students that are maintaining a kosher or a halal diet, or maybe they're vegan or vegetarian, they will likely find that they'll have options on our campuses. We have a wide range of communal spaces on campus, and we like to encourage our students to take advantage of spending as much time on campus as possible and allowing themselves to find a place to fit in within the Humber community. On that note, we have a number of international student services as well as general student services. We're committed to the success of our students, and ultimately we want our students to join our institution and successfully complete their programs and continue down a path of continued success in their careers as well. So what we have in place are a wide range of support services as well as orientation services, health amenities, as well as various clubs and associations that are available to students when they do join the Humber community. We have various types of orientation. We have our international student orientation. So for students that are perhaps a little bit concerned about not knowing very much about Toronto or Canada or being new to a post-secondary institution, they will have orientation at the start of their course, where they will gain insights into the services that are available to them. They'll be able to familiarize themselves with amenities that are available, as well as gain insights into Toronto and what Toronto has to offer as a city. We have a range of support services like peer tutors, as well as an international buddy program. So for students that might find themselves struggling within an academic course, they will have resources to be able to help them succeed in that given course. There are a wide range of academic workshops, as well as for students that are maybe concerned about visa or work permit regulations. We have workshops and information sessions that are available on those topics, as well as for students that maybe have never worked professionally and want to gain skills and insights into things like professional interviewing skills. So we have a wide range of student services that are available to our students. We also have a wide range of ways that students can get involved on campus, ranging from various clubs and associations across both campuses to interest groups. I believe the last time I checked the most recent listing of groups, I was surprised that there was a Lego club. So for students that were passionate about Lego, they could get together and build various Lego things. But there are also clubs and associations with religious or cultural affiliations, or social interest groups. There are a wide range of ways that students can get involved across the campus and really embed themselves and experience the culture of Toronto, Canada, as well as the Humber culture, which is thriving. We have a wide range of competitive sports teams that compete at the varsity level. So if students are looking to train professionally and aspire to be professional athletes, they can train to that level across a range of sports, covering areas like basketball, football, baseball. In truly Canadian tradition, we also have a curling team. So for students that might be interested in pursuing curling at a competitive level, they can do that. But we also have facilities, athletic facilities that students have access to. So if they're passionate about Zumba or yoga or just want to work out and make sure that they're maintaining a healthy lifestyle, they'll have access to those types of facilities as well. So again, quick shot of our one of our Humber varsity teams here. I believe this is the basketball team. We also, as previously mentioned, a wide range of support services. We do also notably have counseling facilities and health services. So should students require access to a doctor or a nurse, they will have health coverage as well as they will have access to that in counseling facilities, ranging from, if you're homesick and you just want to come and speak with somebody, to if you have any kind of significant adjustments that need to be made based on learning disabilities or based on challenges that you're facing as a student, you will have access to a large support network while you're at Humber. Lastly, we hope and we hear from our students that one of the most enriching aspects of studying at Humber is the ability to make new friends. So we do certainly hope that the time spent at Humber is well spent and not only just academically focused, but also allows students to gain insight into their professional career paths, professional experience, but then also developing a large network of friends that they'll have through the rest of their life, through to maintaining contact with our alumni office, who are always keen to stay in touch with Humber graduates. I'd like to thank you very much for listening to this presentation and taking the time to research further information about Humber. Should you have any questions, you're more than welcome to send me an email or contact me to set up a meeting. I would be happy to advise you on any individual students that you may have in mind that may wish to pursue further studies at Humber. Thank you very much, and we also look forward to welcoming you to our campus. Should you have availability or should you wish to visit the Humber campus, we do run counselor tours and insights that offer accommodation overnight, as well as we have regular visitors that come and visit the campus. Thank you.
And as Emily mentioned, if you have any questions, please feel free to email her at emily.mancuso@humber.ca. We'd now like to show you a quick video of an international student named Eric Glenn, who was from the U.S. and had a wonderful experience at Humber.
My name is Eric Glenn. I'm in the Industrial Design program at Humber College, and I'm in my 4th year. I've always known what I wanted to do, I just didn't know what it was called. Once I found out about some of the opportunities up here at Humber, I jumped on it. It seemed to be the right fit for me at that time, and now I'm very happy with my choice. Initially, the International Center was very helpful in kind of facilitating the whole process. I was able to live in residence for the first year to get situated. The first several years, it's all about learning the skills. A lot of our program is about ensuring a level of quality. But as far as like the direction and scope of these projects, it's really based around, again, a set curriculum for what they're trying to teach you, but at the same time, they do allow a level of flexibility to allow you to pursue what you're truly passionate about. For me, that's entrepreneurialism, and the program's geared for that in that respect. When I heard about the Venture Award, I'd already been working on the MAT, and when I became aware of the program, the award and the resources available through Humber really allowed me to develop the project in a more meaningful way. National education is amazing. It was a trip coming here for the first time, being able to see a different culture. Having that experience was truly, in my mind, beneficial. I enjoyed my experience. I would say that there are opportunities that exist in Humber that don't exist at other places. Makes the most sense economically. This would be the only school that I would really be able to come out with a full bachelor's program and have the same type of education for the price.